It's time for another Dice Tower review from Gamers Remorse.
Hello and welcome back to Gamers Remorse. Today we're taking a look at the Gamecrafter game, Turbulence.
In Turbulence, players take on the roles of air traffic controllers, aiding planes from takeoff to landing. You begin the game by assembling the play surface as illustrated in the rules with a specified number of players, be that 2 or 3. We found the game plays better if you allow space between each tile large enough to set the plane pieces. The game consists of 4 main actions: takeoff, in which you move a plane from your control tower; move, in which you move your plane one space along an air current; rotate, in which you spin a hex touching one of your planes 60 degrees left or right; and swap, in which you swap the 2 tiles your plane touches, or one of them, for the top tile of the unused hex pile. Either way, you are not permitted to rotate the tiles when swapping them. When moving, you may find you are pushing another plane, in which case you move that plane one space forward on the air current of that player's choice. If you run off the edge of the play surface, your plane returns to the control tower. If 2 planes collide while facing opposite directions, they crash and are both returned to their respective control towers. Once your plane touches the edge of the landing strip tile, move the plane onto the landing strip. The first player to successfully land 5 of their 7 planes is the victor. Gameplay begins with each player being dealt a takeoff card, and the rest of the cards being shuffled and dealt, so that each player has a hand of 5 cards total. Each player has 3 actions on their turn, which they can spend to take off, move, rotate, and swap. After using all 3 of their actions, the player may discard the remaining hand if they so desire, and then whether discarding or not, draw back up to 5 cards.
So I'm going to use my first action to take off. Because I have nothing else, I'm going to swap this for this. And I am not going to use my third action. I'm just going to draw 2 cards.
I'm going to play my takeoff. And then I'm going to go, so that was 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to discard all 4 of my swaps and draw up 5 cards.
So, take off.
Take offy.
Swap with top there.
Alright.
So I just flip it.
You can rotate it now however you want, then flip it and drop it.
I'll swap for my third.
I mean, that's not a horrible solution.
It just prolongs it.
Yep.
I am going to do some interesting maneuvers. I'm going to take off.
Okay.
So that pushes him here, which pushes him here, which pushes you here.
Wait, I get to choose.
Oh yeah, you get to choose. Sorry.
I wanted to go this way.
I was not paying attention to your flight path, sir. And then I'm going to rotate and draw 3 cards, please. On the left side of the plane, you will see the gorgeous Rocky Mountains. Now, if you look to the right, you will see New Hampshire.
Yes.
So I'm going like this.
I'm going to rotate this guy these away. Like a these.
Vis-a-vis.
So 1, 2,
Vis-a-vis.
3. Okay, and then I'm going to draw up 2, and it is Eric's turn. These were not the 2 I was looking for.
These are not the 2 you're looking for.
Good grief. Rotate.
Yeah, you're awesome win.
Rotatey
Shuffle these.
this way. Then move. It's 2. And then move. 3.
Alrighty. Going to take off.
Take off 8.
That's a very excited airplane sound. And then I am going to rotate and move.
Alright, I'm going to go ahead and rotate this guy. So we're good there. And then, so that was 1. Yeah, 2. And then 3. So really it pushes your dudes there. Which way do you
Wait,
want?
whoa.
Do you want to end up there or there?
What did you do?
This guy was here.
Yeah?
But
So
you can
I
move it
moved
forward
this
that
guy
way.
here, which
Oh,
pushed
you jerk.
Yeah, so you can go this way if you want.
I am. I'm going that way.
Okay.
So I'm gonna rotate this failer into a straightaway. Move him there. Swapper.
Nice.
No!
Yeah. Awesome. I like that. Good job, Eric. Well, then on my turn, I'm going to swap.
You got another
I'm
swap?
going to swap.
That's a good choice.
Perfect positioning as well. And then I'm going to move.
I am going to take off. And then I'm going to move up here, which forces Brian off the edge of the map.
Yep.
So he goes back to the control tower here. And I'm going to swap and flip. Which does no one any good.
So I guess first I'll take off A. I'll move for 2.
Mm-hmm.
Then swap that one for top deck. The upper
How do you want it,
decker.
how you want it rotated?
Stop.
Like that?
Yep.
Do you want it flipped just sideways or?
Flip the furthest end towards you.
It would just be easier if you did it.
I'm going to move 2 to get both of those guys in my landing strip, if I may.
So 1,
Yep.
2.
And I am then going to take off.
Brian might take it because I am stuck. I'm going to take off. I'm going to take off. I'm going to discard. I'm not taking that last turn. So I get these 2.
Alright. So 2 of my turns will be rotate. Rotate the same one twice. Boom. Got 1 home.
Alright, so my turn. Mm-hmm. I'm going to rotate.
No! You were such a jerk. And you're crushing my plane.
I'm going to take off. And I am going to rotate.
We're going to rotate this guy.
No, I had it the way I liked it.
I mean, you'll eventually get back up there to do something about it. And then we're gonna rotate this guy. Like a so. And then we're gonna take off. Yeah, that just happened.
That is impressive.
Yeah. But it took 2 rotations to get it that way, which is...
Rotate.
If I keep having to do that, because odds are you're gonna keep changing that, and then I'm gonna have to change it back, and it's a whole thing.
But as long as you have the rotates in your hand, you're good.
It's a big if.
And I'm going to discard.
Okay.
Alright. I'm going to rotate.
Surprising.
I'm going to discard my hand.
And draw 5.
Drop 5. Are you going to win on this turn?
So I'm
I think
gonna rotate. I don't think I am. 2 for takeoff. Right?
Yep.
3.
This hat is itchy.
Mine too.
Granted, it's been hanging on a cubicle wall for 2 years. Who knows what's going on in those cubicles?
What are you
The
doing?
top decker.
I'll let you position it.
Nice.
I was hoping you were going to move one and rotate so Sean doesn't win on this turn. Rotate.
And here I was thinking you were gonna swap this one so I couldn't go anymore.
2. 3.
He is so close. 1. 2. I won!
What did you win?
I don't know what. I won cake! So overall, I like the game. The overall great things about this game are its simplicity. It's a lot like a puzzle solving sort of mechanic, which is really cool. It reminds me of Tsuro meets Sorry meets Chinese checkers. Is really what it is.
Yeah.
Which it worked out really well. The components worked out fantastic. I even like the little pawns. So quality of components 0 to 2. I'm giving it a 2. I really liked it. It didn't need anything extra. It's super easy to read. It has a very clean appearance, and that's really all it needs to have. Good balance of skill to luck 0 to 1. I'm gonna say 1 because there wasn't a whole lot of luck. There was a little bit on the cards, but you had to make the best of what you had. Not a lot of games have that balance built into it, and this one really did. So a 1 on that. Analysis paralysis, 0 to 1. You could probably find yourself in that, but you really have a limited set of options. You only have 3 different kinds of cards.
Yeah.
And you know exactly what to do with those when the cards come up, which is really nice. So I'm going to give that a 1. I didn't have a problem with that. Theme. This is one of those games where it seemed more abstracted than, you know, something entrenched in the theme, like Arkham is a great example of something like that. But this is more like Blockus, where it's a little bit abstracted. So I'm going to give that a 1. I didn't feel like I was a control tower guy. I felt like a dude playing a game, but it was a really fun game. So I'm going to give it a 1 there. Thrill competitive, absolutely 2 there. Was it fun? Yes, 2 there. So you guys might call me crazy, but I just gave it a 9. So
You're crazy.
this is probably my favorite game we've ever played on Gamers Remorse.
All right, as Sean said, the visuals, they were minute but fantastic. When I rate visuals, the first question I ask is, what would I change? And honestly, for this game, nothing. I'm giving this 2 out of 2 on the visuals. Very basic. You know what you're looking at. There's 3 card types. The cards clearly illustrate what you can do with it, which is just fantastic. The plain tokens are superb. I feel like they were made for this game. I know they weren't, but that's what it feels like. They're just that perfect. Then the tiles, it's obvious which ways you can go. There's no real question about it. The rules state specifically what happened in pretty much every scenario. I don't think once we had to guess into the rules in this game, which is, I think, also a first in our playing through.
Right.
Skill luck, 0 to 1. I'm giving that a 0.5. There is some luck on what you draw. But at the same time, there's a lot of skill on how you play what you have. Realistically, if I wanted to, I probably could have kept Sean from winning on that turn at the very end. But in the long run, he probably still would have won. I was having fun. I didn't care. I wanted to say I was 1 away from winning when he won. I wanted to say, on my next turn. Anyways, pacing, 0 to 2. I'm going to give it a 1.5. It's a quick game. Again, you have 3 actions, and then there's a limit to what you can do on those actions. So the most thinking it is which tile do I want to rotate? Okay, this one. So that's fantastic. The turns just go really quickly. Theme and immersion, Sean mentioned, that it was kind of abstract. Having read a little tidbit about there being a strike and Reagan calling into the strike, but not everyone coming back, and so there's high pressure. Like, reading that before playing the game, I loved it, because I'm like, oh man, I gotta get my planes to the landing bay, and I can't crash, but oh no, and it was fantastic. I loved the theme in this game. So I'm giving that 1.5 out of 2. Mechanics, 0 out of 1. I'm giving it a 1. We mentioned some things that'd be fun to change that are now possibility. Gamecrafter is now going to have the ability to do 2-sided tiles, so you could almost have a flipped mechanic, which would be really cool for an expansion or something. But as they are right now, the mechanics are flawless. Every time I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. It's like, well, I could. I just don't have the card. Fun, 0 to 2. I'm going to give it 1.5. I mean, there's a few things that could have made it more fun, but the time was good. It didn't seem like it went too long. It didn't seem like it went too quick. But I could see areas where if you're just getting unfortunate card draws, where it could be less fun for certain individuals. So 1.5 out of 2. So I'm not crazy enough to give it a 9, but I am right up there with an 8.
Nice. Eric, what'd you think?
I really liked it. Simple, really quick to play, really fast to learn. When you said you were crazy about giving it a 9, I was actually right up there giving it an 8.5. So
Nice. So average, that's 8.5.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. I would highly recommend this game.
Yeah, it's for sale now at the Gamecrafter.
Yep.
Definitely check it out. Yeah.
my only issue is we're air traffic controllers and dressed as pilots. Are we just? Is that where we failed in life?
Do you know how much
we-
do you know how much an air traffic control costume costs on eBay these days?
Well,
Neither do I, because I didn't look.
80s, you could just wear a suit.
There you go. So stay with your upright position.
Bombs
What's
away.
the phrase? Yeah, bombs away.
Keep your seatbelts buckled and your tray tables in their upright position as we play Turbulence. I wanted to say, on my next turn.
He also didn't want pie in the face.
I also didn't want cake in the face. That's a lie. I love cake. Put that in my face. Anyway.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.